Alright guys, what's up? Today we're going to be looking at the CZ-75B Omega. I've only got about maybe 400 or 500 rounds through this. I brought about 300 more to run through today, so I think I'll be able to give a pretty honest opinion over this old-timey boomer double action, single action pistol by the end of the day. So I've already got one chambered, got it already decocked, and we're just gonna run through me transitioning through different steel targets. Surprisingly, going from the double action pull isn't too bad. It's like everything I've seen about this gun seems to have about a 9 to 10 pound double action trigger, but it's kind of weird. When I was using snap caps and dry fire in this thing, it seems a little heavier, but in actual live fire it's not too bad. And the single action is really nice at about, I think, 3 or 3.5. So, but I've mainly been trying to practice in double action to get used to that trigger pull, since this is the only DASA gun that I think I've ever bought. So it's definitely a kind of a weird change from polymer striker fired. Alright guys, so it's probably going to take me more than a few hundred rounds to get used to this trigger. I like the gun so far. It's pretty cool. I kind of wanted to get me somewhat of a, an old school gun. I joke around and call these type guns old-timey boomer pistols, because let's face it, they are. I don't know where the whole CZ Hipster thing started from, but when I've been at classes and I've seen guys run 75s and PO1s and stuff like that, they've all been, well into their 60s. They usually do pretty well in class, and about half the finish off their CZs are worn off. So I don't ever see any man bun wearing, fedora having, vest wearing, circular framed glasses hipsters running these kinds of guns. And if you look on YouTube too, most of the guys that are really into these pistols have more gray hair than I do. So I don't know where the hipster, I don't know, the hipster stereotype comes from, because all the guys I see are fellas in class running these things and running them very well, and they're all older dudes. So hence that's why I call it a boomer pistol. But yeah, so this is the one with the Omega trigger in it. Supposedly it's somewhat of a simplified trigger system in it compared to the other ones, and it's not single action. It's has a decocker here. Oh, if I'm on camera, yeah. So decocker, double action, single action, which is, you know, what I wanted. I didn't want to run this gun cocked and locked, which I could. It did come with a manual safety, but I left it with the decocker. I like it that way. Put a set of new grips on here, just a set of lock grips. Just went with the OD green and black. As far as the sights go, these have just basically like the phosphorescent 3-dot sights. I blacked the rears out. I do like this version of the CZ sights better than some of the other ones I have, because it goes all the way back to the slide. Some of them stop right there, and they seem kind of chunky. I think they're like true dots, and it seems like your aperture, your notch in the rear is really, really thin. This one seems to be, I could be wrong, but it appears to me to be a little bit wider. And then I left the front dot just, you know, white. So to me that's good enough for now. You know, I might put some different ones on there. But basic thoughts on this is that it's a pretty fun pistol. I'm definitely not as good with it as I am with my Glocks or my I guess my CZ-P10, but that's just because I'm just not used to running a double action, single action, but I'll get the hang of it. I got a class coming up here in a couple of weeks, a pistol class. There's a good chance I might say to hell with it and run this gun through the class instead of my normal carry gun. I don't have any intentions on carrying this gun, even though I could. I got a good and cheap Kydex appendix holster for it that works really well, which I will do a video on in the coming weeks, that actually makes this gun carry quite well, actually. Not too bad. Sorry to show my fat ass gut, but yeah, it's really not too bad. It does. I mean, I thought that the beaver tail was going to stab the shit out of me and poke me, but it really doesn't. I just did a minor altercation on this. This holster originally came with a big old fat belt clip. I put 2 soft loops on it, and actually it holds pretty well. But yeah, it locks into place. Other than the fact that this gun is clearly a lot heavier than a Glock 17 or 19, which I usually carry. It's about 2.5 pounds, I think, loaded, a little over that. Surprisingly, you know, I could see where guys would carry this. I personally wouldn't want to carry something with a 8-10 pound double action trigger. I kind of like having a consistent, you know, 4 to 6 pound trigger in my striker fires, but I could see where guys, especially older dudes, would definitely want to run and carry this gun and train with it, but not hipsters. I'm sorry. Sorry, internet, you're wrong. Facebook, you're wrong. This isn't a hipster gun. This is a boomer pistol. So, catch you guys later.